every once in a while. I think it misfires, or I think it misses the cylinder every once in a blue moon. Yeah, I think we might have a bad ignition coil. Oh joy. Well, all right then. The story of Mark's mower continues. So something ain't happy. I guess let's check, make sure we got oil in it and do that. Oh yeah, she full up. So that's not the problem. Air cleaner could be clogged already. Fuel pump looks wet. Actually, all of this down here looks wet too on the valve train. Oh hey, there's not a bolt there. I wonder if that's introducing a head gasket leak. Hopefully that's just a valve cover. Well, there's a bolt over there, so hopefully that doesn't hold the head on. But we'll let her cool down a bit. And then I guess we're going to pop spark plugs. And just check secondary ignition coils. And yeah, I feel like there's supposed to be a bolt there. And it's not. That could be a problem. I'll tell you, the one upside of Corona is that I finally had an opportunity to figure out what kind of face mask works best for keeping dirt out of my nose whenever I'm out mowing, because I've got horrible pollen allergies as well as dust allergies. So thanks, Corona. I now know it's these cranberry masks. They're fantastic. They're great for our hot, humid weather. Yeah, I just felt like saying that because now this changes my life. I mean, as soon as I still sneeze anyway, but it's, you know, it's an order of magnitude better. This could also be part of the issue, but I've seen worse and had mowers run. I'm still gonna clean it, but that might have something to do with it. That is a new filter. It's only got maybe, I don't know how many, 20 hours on it. So we're just gonna clean off the pre-filter and hope for the best and try not to get any more sand in the gullet of this thing than we need to. You know, I probably should just pull the pre-filter before I pull all that and dump everything in there. I'm gonna do that. Well, she may be time for a tune-up. Just put this on a year ago, and I mean, it's runnable, but it's nastier than I thought it'd be. Seen a lot worse though. Lots of gas down there in the intake, so may have just been an air filter, hopefully. So I'm going to pick the nicer looking of these two sides, which I think is this one, and I'm just going to huck that back on in there. And I've cleaned this guy out. I just smacked the crap out of it. That's what it looked like new. That's what it looked like now. You saw what it looked like before. I just gave it a couple of good Bob Rosses, and we're going to stick that back on, tighten her down, fire her up, see if she smooths back out. If not, we're going to be pulling plugs and checking coils, and I'm going to be investigating whether or not there's a head gasket leak there. Because that bolt could have just decided to disappear a couple minutes ago. We'll see. Well, that may have been all she wants. She's going along at a good clip now. It seemed like she was starved for power before. She wasn't getting any air, then that would make sense. And here we go again with the Bob Ross action. think she might be overheating. And it's like 60 something out today, so that's not good. Got plenty of gas. And it's good gas, good old boat gas too. Black smoke. I think she might be overheating. Or potentially she has a blown head gasket, and when it gets too overheats, it blows it out. Or I don't know. If I let her sit for 5 minutes or so and start her back up, she runs just fine. I just beat the air filter out for the second time. There was significantly less smuts in it. I think I might pop the air filter off and just see if there's, you know, something going on with the oil breather or something. But she ain't happy. She's in a real bad way now. That's all I got pegged out. It just keeps getting worse. I'm just gonna stage her so I can come get her with the trailer here in a second. That's all she's got. Does better at low speed. I'm thinking spark issue. At least I'm hoping spark, because I think I should be able to suss that out pretty easy. Diesel in there. Well, Mark's mower is officially going back to the shop. Man, my Hawaiian shirt wearing ass just cannot get any work done today. The whole internet for the whole island, as well as cell service for everyone with AT&T, is just gone from the whole island today. So I decide, well, I guess I'll go do field work today. I got a lot of mowing I could do, so I get, 90% of the way done with the mowing, and then the mower dies. Luckily, it's 4:15, so I've got just enough time to go fill up my gas can, run to my house, grab my trailer, come back, load this up, head on home, and still be able to clock out at 8 hours. So I guess it's silver lining, I guess, but now I got to work on this thing again, and everyone else's confidence in this mower has been thoroughly eroded. So, I mean, personally, I don't care because I'm the one doing all the servicing on it, and I'm not charging anybody any extra, and the fact that I have to take a day off and work on the thing for 8 hours. But other than that, I don't mind. It's a great mower, except for all the things that are broken on it, which is everything, just like everything I own. So let's fast forward to this sucker on a trailer, I guess. And she's back up on the trailer again. Alright, well, first things first, I'm just going to take my voltmeter, got it set on ohms, and I'm just going to pull the boot off of the spark plug, stick it into the boot, or stick the positive side in the boot, and then touch the black to the back, or to the engine body, or side of the spark plug, and see whether or not they're different. If they're the same and they're both reading in the right place, then the problem lies elsewhere. And we'll go through and do a compression test and a spark test and all that, but I want to do this step first. Okay, so both ignition coils check out good at, this one's 12.6 kiloohms and that one's 13 kiloohms. Pulled both spark plugs, they're both black, but they otherwise look fine, no cracked porcelain. So we've got the spark tester hooked up now, and we're going to fire it up and see if we got spark on each side. Contact. Good spark there. And good spark there. Fuck. Alright, well here are the spark plugs. I believe this one is out of the passenger side and this one the driver's side. Passenger side looks to be a little bit blacker, a little more carboned up, but they're both pretty similar, both carboned up. So now that we've proven that it's not the easy stuff, now we're going to check to see if it's the worst thing it could be, which is a blown head gasket, which is way too much time and money for something that I'm not getting paid to do. Well, I'm sort of getting paid to do, but I'm salaried, so it doesn't count. So, got both spark plugs out. We're going to crank over the engine, I don't know, 10, 12 times, see what kind of compression we get out of each side, and hopefully we'll see something. I think these little V-twins are supposed to put out like 180 or something. At least that was on the Kohler I did. So expect to see, as long as they're even, then I think we're good. We're just checking for a blown head gasket. I mean, I'm not looking for health of the engine because, let's be real, I'm not going to throw this thing out even if it is like 50. So I'm going to hop up in here, crank it, and then we'll check, see what we get. Contact. Alright, what's that say? That says 97. That's as high as it went. That's pretty good. This is probably a 100 PSI engine, so we'll smooth this over to the other side, and hopefully it will look identical. Alright, contact. Well, it appears we have worse compression on that side, but nothing I would be particularly concerned about. What's that reading? 80? No. Yeah, something. Actually, that's near 90, so we've got like 88 and 98, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Would be a lot nicer if that was, you know, like at least 95, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I don't think we have a blown head gasket, especially because when I backed this thing off of the trailer, it was barely alive. I was all I could do just to get it over here. It was puffing black the whole time. So I still think it's ignition related, or it could be that the carburetor is just dumping fuel in there, or potentially that the fuel pump has stopped working. So we'll poke all around in here and suss out whether or not we think it's fuel related or not. One interesting thing that I was noting, which didn't seem to be anything related to a head gasket or an ignition coil, was whenever I cut the engine off, it all of a sudden the engine improves and then it idles up and then it runs for a couple seconds and then it shuts off, which it shouldn't be doing. I'm going to go do some sleuthing online, but it's not a head gasket, and it's not an ignition coil or spark plug, so there's some troubleshooting we're going to have to do. Alright, so after thinking and doing some research, here's my current state of mind on the troubleshooting. I think we might have two issues simultaneously. I think we might have a faulty ignition switch, which is causing the dieseling. And I think the other issue might be we either have a needle in the seat that's stuck open or a backfire solenoid that is stuck open, and that's causing the thing to just dump fuel into the main jet. And whenever it backfires, it just gets worse every time. I did check it. There's two types of carburetors on these Kawasaki's. There's externally and internally vented ones. I have the externally vented one, which, if you look down here, has that solenoid on it, and it also has a square float bottom. So we do have a shutoff solenoid, and if that thing so if we have a faulty ignition and that thing is stuck open, when I shut the engine off, it stays open, allowing fuel to flow through the main jet, which would then cause the engine to run when the engine shuts off, because it's still pulling fuel out of the bowl until, you know, it burns off enough that whatever residual vacuum or this contact finally shuts off and then it dies. However, that shouldn't explain the just massive hemorrhaging of fuel. So I think we may also have a stuck needle in the seat, and all things work together to create the red herring dieseling and the actual problem, which is this thing just dumping gas into it. At least that's what I think it's doing, is it's getting way too much gas, because I don't think it's ignition timing. The one thing I can check to see if we have a faulty ignition switch is I can run this thing with the spark tester in line and then shut it off and see if the spark tester still lights up even after I've shut off the ignition switch. That would tell me if we do indeed have, you know, an ignition signal going to the coils after the engine shut off. Then I guess I'm gonna have to order a gasket set and pull the carburetor so that I can inspect the bowl, clean it out, and test the ignition, or test the shutoff solenoid, and also make sure there's not a bunch of crap in it. I'll probably also just play around with all the wires I can find in this rat's nest. Maybe come in here, pressure wash some stuff. Probably shouldn't pressure wash that circuit board, so I'm not going to, but just get around here, clean some stuff up, check connections, make sure everything is hooked up properly, see if that does anything, and if not, pull a carburetor, clean it, hope for the best. Alright, now let's see how she runs after sitting for 24 hours. I've got the spark tester hooked back up because I want to see whether or not we have ignition whenever she starts running away and dieseling after I shut her off. Because if we get no spark there and it keeps going, then that means that she's, igniting just under compression, which is hard to believe, which is why I've got that hooked up, because I don't think it is. I think the ignition key is not doing something right, and that may have something to do with our issues. So if that's an issue, I want to suss that out first before I go ahead and tear the carburetor apart or start investigating wires. Not running great. Well, we didn't get anything going after we cut it off there. She's running better, but she's still running terrible. I'm thinking it's fuel related, but she shouldn't be igniting. She shouldn't be touching off, even if, the carburetor is just full of fuel, because she didn't have enough compression to do that, I don't think. Alright, so just to determine whether or not it's a richness issue of taking the air cleaner off, we're going to see if it runs better. If it does, then it's probably too much fuel. And if it doesn't, then it's more than likely ignition related. That sounds great to me. Well, I think that confirms that it's just dumping gas into the gullet. Alright, and just to confirm that the shutoff solenoid is working, if I cycle this guy, you hear shutoff solenoid cycles with the ignition, so that's not it. So stuck needle in seat, or potentially something in the shutoff solenoid, but the solenoid is functioning at the very least. Alright, well, before we do anything stupid, I'm going to take the old filter, which looks like that, and replace the new filter, which looks like that. Let's just see if it's a bad filter, because I was mowing basically sand for like 8 hours, and this is a year-old filter, so I'm gonna hazard that maybe the filter's just totally plug solid. So I'm gonna take the air compressor, blow out the clean one, and then blow out the old one, or blow out just both of them, and let's see how much crap comes out. Alright, well that one's done, not much came out of it, so let's see what happens with this. Nothing. Well, I think she is thoroughly plugged. Alright, brand use air cleaners back in. Let's see if that makes any difference at all. Alright, contact. Well, I feel dumb now. That was it. My first thought was air cleaner, and that's actually what it was. So, yeah, always start with the simple stuff, guys, or, you're going to spend all this time and money and drag a mower 50 miles back home to work on it. just to find out that all you had to do was just swap the old air filter back in. So there we go. She runs fine now, at least as far as I'm aware she does. All right, Mark's mower's going back. I feel like an idiot now, but there you go. If your John Deere is misfiring, first things first, check your air cleaner. Save you a lot of time, heartache. Just go ahead and swap it. I mean, this thing was already overdue. I put it on a year ago, and then I spent 8 hours mowing dust. So, yeah, that's all it was. Why did I not think to do that while I was still there? I guess it was 4:30 in the afternoon. It was the end of the day. That's my excuse. All right, whatever. Time out. Bye.